You can't really prepare for fatherhood, can you? Let's talk about it. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Dad Prep, the channel that helps you prepare for fatherhood. So it's an interesting question that I asked there in the beginning. But today we are going to engage with an episode of Man Talks. Man Talks is a YouTube channel, podcast. I'll put their info down in the comments. Certainly go ahead and give them a subscribe. They do some good work talking about issues of men as fathers, as husbands, and any issues that men struggle with. And we do have our struggles, that's for sure. So Connor Beaton of the channel Man Talks is talking with Larry Hagner of the Dad Edge YouTube channel. Again, I'll put their information down as well. Go give them a subscribe because they're also doing good work. Men helping men. But in this episode that they do talk about how did they prepare, or can you prepare for fatherhood? And this is what I want us to engage with, since this is the purpose of this particular channel. And just get that set up.
Will show up in the son's life. I'm paraphrasing. I'm not saying it exactly. But it's interesting how much influence dads have over their sons, whether they're there or not. And I'm curious for you with, all of the, relationships with men that were in your life, with the men that left and didn't stay. How did you prepare for fatherhood? How did you prepare the first time you entered into that portal of dad life? And then, did you prepare differently for your second kid?
Oh man. The answer to your question is I didn't prepare at all. And to be honest, my oldest is 17, and I just remember it was really, really unpopular at the time. Because we're going back before like smartphones and kind of social media, like in the MySpace days. And now I think it's much more accepted to search out coaching and resources and even online courses, right? That was like a thing in 2005. That was like, wait, what? But I did nothing. I didn't read a book. I think I read What to Expect When Expecting, but I wasn't really, I didn't give myself fully to that book. I was just completely and totally overwhelmed by the whole thing. And I just winged it. I thought that's what you were supposed to do. In fact, I felt so much just shame and guilt. Like I could understand going to my father-in-law, right? Or a friend and say, I don't know how to fix this thing that's wrong with my car. Can you help me? But if I were to go to anybody and be like, I have no idea what to do when it comes to fatherhood, I am literally going off instincts, which is to protect, right? I need to protect my kids, and I need to provide, I need to put food on the table, a roof over their head. And I somehow, some way need to have like this environment of love and affection and discipline and balance. But I don't know what that looks like. So
I think this is great what Larry's actually saying here, because a lot of, I grew up, I think I'm older than him. And when I was growing up, there was this guy, Kevin Lehman, I think he was focused on the family, and he wrote a ton of books about marriage and fatherhood and all that kind of stuff, even about kids, raising kids. And he was the main guy, really, when I was growing up. But yeah, as fathers, what he said was bang on. Provide, protect, and if you're doing that, you're doing well. In the meantime, there's a lot more to it than that. Our own struggles that we go with, that we're going through as fathers. And we need to prepare ourselves mentally. There's a mental preparation that I think that we need to have as soon as this child comes. When I was in my case, it was a little bit different. So we'll just a little bit about my story. We'll get back to the episode. In my case, my girlfriend got pregnant, and so I was totally unprepared for, to become a father when my daughter was born. It wasn't like an expectation. Now, just to clarify, I married my girlfriend. We've been married for over 30 years. It's been great. But as far as preparation, I wasn't mentally prepared. I was working, so I would be able to provide for my family when they came. But when my daughter came, certainly able to prepare. But that's when I was thinking. You think that that's all you need to do if you're preparing and if you're providing and if you're protecting, then you're doing what fathers need to do. That's it. But there's a lot more to it than that, as far as being there for them, teaching them, guiding them. And you need to know what that looks like, because every child is different. Because that's another thing. You think, just after you think you figured it out with one child, then the next child shows up and totally different. And then the third child, totally different. Girls, different. Boys, different. And these are the things you have to navigate. And so, yeah, I like what Larry there was saying. He was totally unprepared and he didn't prepare. But now there's so much information out there. You can prepare. You won't be totally prepared, but you can um, you can give yourself an opportunity to be successful.
I did not prepare at all for the first one. And the second one came so quickly that I really didn't prepare for that one either, which is probably what led me to that dark moment, 4 years later.
How would you prepare today if you were going to, with everything that you know, how would you prepare? Because really what I'm asking is, how do you think men can prepare? Because it's such a huge undertaking. And I think part of the question is like, well, can you actually prep yourself for what's coming?
That's a great question. I mean, do I think you're ever going to be 100% prepared? Probably not, mentally, emotionally, physically, right? Because it's demanding. It's also dynamic. It's forever changing, right? Anybody who says, I'll wait till I'm ready, it's like, you probably are not going to be ever 100% ready. However, I like to compare it like this. I think if we could shift anything in the minds and hearts of men, it's this. It's really okay to not know what you're doing. It's really okay. And it's probably not your fault if you have no clue what to do, right? Because we're pretty much going off the blueprint that we were raised with. But here's where my tough love comes in. It's your fault if you don't do anything about it. Because now we have like literally all the resources at our fingertips that we could possibly ask for to help us with that journey. We just have to say yes to it, right? I like to compare it to something like this as well. Are you a gambler by chance? Do you gamble?
No.
Okay.
I gambled once when I was 18, lost $500, which was pretty much everything that I had, and then said, fuck this, I'm never doing that
again. So you and I like literally have like the same gambling experience. Like I make a joke at the blackjack table. I'm like, yeah, if I want to lose $100 in 2 minutes, I'll just go play blackjack. But the thing is I don't know the strategy of blackjack. I don't know the strategy of poker. I don't play. I have nothing against it. I just don't play it because I've lost money doing it in the very 2, 3, or 4 times I've done it. But here's what I can tell you. I would massively stack the odds in my favor that I would do better if I learned how to do it, or if I read a book on strategy, on poker or whatever else, right? But if I just go in like winging it, I'll figure it out. I'm probably going to lose more than I gain. And it's probably not going to be the most fulfilling experience of my life, right? So I think that what you can do is, to answer your question, I don't know if anybody's ever ready, but you can stack the odds in your favor for a more fulfilling experience with it and knowing what's coming and just being more of a student of it, more of a study of it.
Yeah, Larry's bang on there. Look at these books by talking about this Kevin Lehman. I think he's like 81 years old now. But look at these books that he wrote that I could have read to prepare myself. Sheet music, the birth order book, have a new kid by Friday. He was kind of a funny guy. You can certainly go online, YouTube, and listen to him. He's a funny guy, psychologist and all that. But you can see, be the dad she needs you to be. And I think I read this one way back when. Oh, and this one. Uh, that's Kevin Lehman. Let me just go back here. I think where's he at? There he is. There's Kevin Lehman. Funny guy.
It's interesting because I have men reach out to me all the time and they're like, what book would you recommend on being a dad? And I've always I've never been the academic guy, I've always been the apprenticeship guy. And so I took the path of reaching out to as many men who were fathers that I respected as possible and saying, what did you do? How did you feel? What was it like after you had your kid? What were the hardest parts of it? What do you wish people had told you? Like just sort of asking questions from the men who had gone through it, who I respect and am connected to. And I think that really helped me. And then sharing my fears. I had a big fear of losing my freedom.
Oh yeah.
I had really built a life where I could go where I wanted, when I wanted, with whoever I wanted. And I was like, man, is having a kid gonna infringe on that? And it's so I think getting to share some of those fears with the men and being honest, that were in my life, that was a huge piece that I wish for every, father that's to be, a man that's going to become a father.
Okay, guys, so they do go on. That's a really good episode. I'll put that episode as well down below as well. So you click on it and watch it. But it's a really interesting discussion that the two fellas there are having. But what I wanted to kind of focus on and get away from that is prepare. You can prepare to be a father. You can prepare now, and you will never be totally prepared because, as Larry there said, things are dynamic. Things are different. Kids are different. First of all, you've got to prepare yourself to get married. You got to find that wife that you're going to have these kids with. And when Connor Beaton there was talking about being a father, he's going to lose his freedom. You've already lost some of it when you got married, brother. You got married, you lost some of your freedom, my man. So yeah, once you get that child, you lose a little bit more freedom. But you also gain so much more than you lose with a good wife and children that you're raising. You gain a lot more. So don't think about it as a loss. Think about it as a gain. Because once you have that wife, once you have that child, even your own sense of worth, you're a father now. Right before you weren't a father, now you're a father. That gives you some more worth, more of a purpose. And that's the word I was looking for. And you have more drive. Your ambition increases because now you want to your sense of purpose. Yeah, just increases. Your ambition increases. So I want you to think about those things. But preparing, you can read books. Gary Lehman there. Kevin Lehman was a good one, and I think his books are still sound. Those are one of those kind of books that you can read, and they're good through the ages. Obviously, there's certain things that are in the world now, social media, that Kevin Lehman did not have when he was writing his books. So those are things that you'd have to navigate if you do decide to read his books. I'm not sure who is out there right now, but here's the thing. As you heard from Connor there, a lot of guys don't read. We are more experiential. We want to experience things. We want to hear from other guys about what their experiences are. So if you're not going to read, yeah, then you talk to other men you admire. They've been in some stable marriages. They've raised good kids. And then you can even talk to those men whose kids have gone astray, because that happens as well. See how they navigated that. Maybe ask them, what do you think they could have done differently? if they're blaming themselves, a lot of men would do that if the kids go astray. Blame themselves, say something could have done differently, and learn from them. So there's many things that we can do, but I want to just get away from this episode is that the answer to the question is, can you prepare? Yes, you can. You can prepare. You can stack the odds in your favor and do better. And that's what this channel is about, helping you do that, help stack the odds in your favor. And I hope that somebody maybe learns something and goes out there and prepares to be that great father, because we need great fathers in this world. All right, guys. Please go ahead and watch that episode. I'll see you guys next time. Go out and be dadly.